think I'm perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It's just perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm perfect. Perfect.
First of all, I do want to welcome you to the show, man. I definitely appreciate you coming on. Everybody, Mr. Jawad El Bay, or I call him Cool J El Bay. Oh man, welcome to the show, man. And then thanks for, you know what I mean, just, you know, coming helping a brother out.
Appreciate you having me, and you know, anyone out there that want to reach me, they can reach me on Facebook for now.
Okay.
At, Adventurous Cool J.
Oh.
Yeah. So if anyone got any opinions or thoughts on the topics that we're discussing, they are welcome to, you know, hit me up at Adventurous Cool J.
Yeah, me and Cool J go back a long time ago. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like we're in a brotherhood. You know what I mean? Where we check on each other. We, you know what I mean? Make sure we stay in tune with, you know, what everybody doing, and you know, trying to basically stay connected and motivate each other and stuff like that, man. So basically, the topic tonight that we're gonna get into is the sisterhood. Is it what's going on with it, basically?
Yeah,
you know. So we definitely looked at some of the stuff in part one where I went into like the Chi-Raq movie, and kind of using it as a reference or whatever. But brother Cool J, you was telling me earlier that you got some references that you want to use for us tonight.
Yeah, man. There's a book that I came across. This is a couple years ago. It's called Living in the Light.
Okay.
And this lady, her name is Shakti Gawain. Hopefully I pronounced it right, but
she's the author.
She's the author. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a European lady, but she changed her name to more of a I guess it's Hindu.
Okay.
Not quite familiar with that culture, but something to look into. But right. She's into Eastern philosophy, and she also touched on some things that would be important for the sisterhood. You know.
Okay.
As you know, we've seen a lot of women, you know, dated and just experienced being around women in this Western culture, and we realize that there's not much of a sisterhood. There's sororities. We don't really want to say that there's no sisterhood, but there are sororities.
Right. There are, you know, a lot of different sororities that are doing their own thing, but that most of the time those are college kids that are in school or whatever that get into those sororities. But as far as just a regular, I mean, maybe a community sisterhood or whatever, and a lot of people outside of the college world don't necessarily use it, or some have social clubs or whatever, but not a lot of them that'll empower women, period. You know what I mean? Like the sororities do.
Too, which is interesting, is that like with these young ladies who are involved in these sororities, some of them, I remember staying in Alabama. Mm-hmm. Some of it started at an early age, not just your Girl Scouts, but there was something called, I think, the Kudos.
Okay,
and the Kudos is like a pre-initiation to you joining a fraternity. Once you finish high school,
right,
and you go into college, then you get to choose Delta or whatever.
Okay, after during college or
right. Okay. But I remember at high school they actually had something called the Kudos. I'm not sure if that still exists, but I do remember that because, at the Thanksgiving parades, a little bit off the subject, you get to see them march and do their thing.
Right,
And I remember that some of the girls in the high school that I attended at that particular time was in this organization called the Kudos.
What was the name of the school?
The school that I attended was Sidney Lanier.
Okay. Okay, the poet. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I noticed that then that the sisterhood actually started at a young age.
Right. And that's a good thing, man. I mean, I don't know how useful or if it's being utilized today or whatever in school. And some of them is like cheerleaders or whatever, but they do have some clubs. But as far as just for, somewhat to start off young girls growing together instead of, they not able to trust each other. If they can start at a young age, you know what I mean? It'll build another branch of the sisterhood as they grow up together,
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, with that being said, that's for the ones who already started at an early age.
Right.
Now, what we're witnessing is those who are not a part of those organizations.
True.
Or don't even understand the routine or the protocol of how these things actually work.
Right.
And they don't have to be part of an organization, but I get what you're saying. Like far as a community, how would this thing work?
Right.
And to be honest with you, a lot of these issues and problems that the females are facing is based off of us. Well, I won't say us per se, but them living in a male dominant world.
Right.
And so, with that being said, they actually taking on this male ego that does not really belong to them. So they are competitive.
Okay. Even with each other.
Even with each other, which is not about looking out for their sisters or their girlfriends. It's about, what can I get now, and she will be all right later.
Yeah, I'll help her out after. But that's kind of backwards. Maybe a lot of that was, from a fear of being left out or not being first, or let's say go back to even when I don't know, maybe picking cotton and you was picking more pounds or whatever. You know what I mean?
It could be that, like what Shati Gawain was saying in Living in the Light, is that the women kind of actually lost their place by forgetting how to take care of themselves first, individually, like taking care of their needs. And then once their needs are satisfied, meaning that they're totally happy with themselves, then they don't really need anyone else, whether it's a man or a female, to help them out. There would be, I'm trying to make sure I say this right, but once anybody, not just a woman per se, but if they learn how to take care of themselves first, if everyone does that first, then collectively we can come together to take on bigger tasks. And that's where the sisterhood would come into play. But they would have to learn how to do for themselves first. But that's based off of training.
Yeah.
That's based off of training.
Learned in the young sisterhood, it should be. You know what I mean?
Well, what they're teaching, what society is teaching young ladies to do, is to depend on someone for their happiness. And that is an absolutely no-no.
Right.
Because now you're looking outside of yourself.
Right. To find what you could only give to yourself.
That you can only give to yourself. It's only you that can do that. You know what I mean? Now, I understand that there's some sisters lacking in something and the other sisters can be stronger in other departments.
Right.
I can understand that, per se. But it's gotten to a point where it's just gotten to be so competitive that some girls that you think that might be powerful is really lacking something on the inside, but needs a following, like a mass following.
Right. To validate.
Right. So it's a big issue, but we would have to take baby steps.
Right. And that's why I was basically trying to do in part one was to basically start the conversation. So at least the conversation that we are having right now, they'll start having that amongst themselves. That's the thing that I wanted to do with this. And like I say, we don't have all the answers, but it's some people out there that haven't even started to think about it or how helpful it could be for them. Because I was saying on part one, man, we empower ourselves all the time. Me and the fellas will jump on the road and, you know what I mean, travel somewhere, do a bonding experience like that, or just getting together, shoot some pool every now and then. But sometimes women, like, I don't want to mess with her today.
It's funny that you say that because, like, for us, our crew, and you know who they are.
Right.
We're not the same individually.
Right.
Everyone is so different. I can be more like the Carlton Banks.
Right.
We all joke about it.
Right.
We got a Sleepy Brown.
Right.
We got a Cheesy in the crew. Dave Chappelle. We got a P-Tritty.
Right.
But when we hang out, people are so confused about how all of us can come together and have a good time.
Right.
While we're so different. Our backgrounds are different, and they don't understand.
Right.
Well, we actually had made up these rules for each other just in our group.
Right.
We don't care what goes on outside of the circle, but in our circle, we do have some bylaws that we follow, and it works. There's really no head honcho in the group. Everyone is a chief, but no one's really a chief at the same time. It's just, and what I mean by that is, we can all be hanging out, and one of our persons in the team will have a good night. It could be,
that kind of goes back to basketball. You know what I mean? The way that our women, they're so feisty. They're like the warriors of the black community or whatever. And if you kind of look at the way that maybe it was a game the other night, Golden State Warriors. Stephen Curry had an off night, but Kevin Durant was on fire. You know what I mean? And I don't know if women know how to be the Dwayne Wades of the world if a LeBron come in town, or and it's gonna be a time where you're gonna have to step back up, or sometimes they'll be like, nah, you handle it, you had it last time, go and get it now then. You know what I mean? But one other be like, oh yeah, I gladly take this right here, especially if they have experience with that right there. You know what I mean?
Right. If you're hot, you pass the ball to the person that's hot right now.
Exactly. So, I don't know if it's a team thing with a lot of the females that don't like, they solo smoke, a lot of them solo, they don't have a sisterhood, or even if it's someone there with them that have a lot of sisters, it's crazy that they don't have some of them do now because they may have been a tight knit family or whatever, and they always stay. We do have those sisters or whatever, but and sometimes they don't go outside of that, like connect their sisterhood to another sisterhood and do like we do. We'll next thing you know, we'll run into some other brothers and some other brothers and be like, hey, all y'all wanna we'll meet up over here, whatever, and we'll go and be fine, and be like, you'll introduce us to somebody else and vice versa, you know what I mean? And then it's like, man, boom, and still everybody has a good time, but they have a not a problem, but they don't practice it enough. Kind of speak to that with anything that you have that you got as far as reference.
It's one of those things too, man. Like we have to be a little bit self-aware of who we are,
right?
And not to say that most of the sisters don't, but to create a sisterhood, it still goes back to them figuring out who they are, them taking care of themselves,
right?
Their individual needs,
exactly.
So when they walk into a team or sisterhood like atmosphere, right, they know what they can offer. They know how much they can put into. They know their worth. Exactly. Right. They know their value.
Right.
Now it gets to when you don't know and you constantly helping someone, and that person is not helping you. Somewhere you're going to get lost in that cycle. You're not there to boost someone's ego and to ride their coattail per se,
right?
Because then all of a sudden the ego gets out of hand, and then there's no balance.
No balance at all.
But if they set just basic rules for themselves, once they know who they are and their value within the group, and when they decide to enter a sisterhood like atmosphere,
right,
and then they can set rules for who's ever in their circle to what they do and what they shouldn't do.
Right. But listen, just to that point on what you just said, ours is a whole lot different. We if I don't even know when we got to that point, man. We like Jedis right now, compared to where. Why is it so easy for men, or what will women have to do to make it easier for them? Because I mean, like we don't even have to say anything. It's like bloom, bloom, bloom. Oh, I got this, such and such or whatever. You know what I mean? How can women?
That's years of experience, though.
Okay, speak to that right there, because the time that that's why I was saying earlier, make sure they checking on each other, and just any simple stuff like, man, hey, how you doing, man? How's work? You know what I mean? If you can check in with them, or just to keep in touch with them, just to see how they doing, whatever. That's how the brotherhoods work.
Oh, yeah, man. We do that. Sometimes we don't even speak for 3-4 months.
Right.
We have a conversation as if we just left off from the last conversation.
Right. Oh my God, you just said exactly what I just said on part one, man. That's crazy. But go ahead.
Yeah, there's no. We don't get emotional. That's just our makeup. We don't really get that emotional over stuff, but the sisters and it's just a suggestion. I mean, I'm just a man.
right.
And I'm pretty sure they're gonna like, he don't know. He's walking around with a phallus. But it's just one of those things that some stuff we care about and some stuff we don't. Like, for example, we have people in our clique that wows out,
Right.
regardless
Right.
of
Right.
the situation that they have. But my understanding is this: is there might be some things I agree or disagree with, but I know that person.
Right.
I know that person that I'm dealing with, and I hate to say I would expect that at times.
Yeah, but most of the time, I don't think people, or maybe females, that may be a problem with them. They don't believe who the person tells them who they are. You know what I mean? If this person does this, I mean, people do change or whatever, but they'll say something if, like, yeah, man, I had to stop doing that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't mess with the ketchup no more, and it's explained, but I don't think they necessarily just know.
I guess. That's something that they would have to find out. Like, okay, let's say, like, I was talking to a coworker of mine, and she was telling me how girls are in their group. As like, there's some ratchet things that they disagree with. You always have a friend that's kind of ratchet, or so-called more ghetto than the other.
Right.
And, y'all all come together to hang out. But what happens is that y'all divide yourselves in groups based off of someone in the group that you don't get along with, but y'all came together on this one trip.
That is crazy.
This one particular person you don't really get along with, so I'm not gonna kick it with her. I'm gonna, kick it and make it such a divisive thing.
Yeah.
For us, it's not even like that. It's more like sometimes we just divide up just because.
Right. We have different stuff we trying to get accomplished. Like,
we're trying to get.
Yeah, we're like, y'all go get the liquor. We gonna go over here and make sure our table's straight and the food getting there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all go get the balls and the pool sticks. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that.
Right.
It's an organized effort.
Well, yeah, and sometimes it's like this. Like, person might want to go see, might want to go to a strip club. It's gonna be one. I want to see a strip club. I get down here.
Right.
You have somebody, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, but if this person came on a trip, he rightfully came on the trip because he had something that he wanted to see and do. We can't really disregard that. I'm not saying all of us are going.
Right.
But we're not going to be like, I don't like that person.
Right. No, not just for that. You want to just like, man, you want to go to a strip. I can't hate you for just, you know what I mean? You on a trip or whatever, and the fact that you want to go to, man, you can't hate. And they do that and make it a divisive type of thing. Like, and they gonna be that one girl knowing she go to a strip club. I gotta go to church tomorrow, and I'm like, oh Lord, what you came for?
Yeah.
What you came for? You knew you weren't going to no club. Ain't nothing but strip clubs in Atlanta. You think you gonna find a regular club?
It's like they kind of like when you move in a sisterhood or a team like fashion, there's going to be some things that everyone may not like,
right?
But it doesn't mean that the group should be divided.
Right.
It just means that
there's some differences.
You have to satisfy people's needs and wants as a group.
Yeah, and that can be done. Well, we compromise all the time, man. All the time.
Well, yeah, because I went on a trip a couple months ago, and I told the person I was going on the trip with that we done this trip like maybe 2 times already.
Okay.
But this particular time,
where?
we was going to New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans. Okay.
Yeah, going to New Orleans, checking out Falcons versus New Orleans game.
Right.
You know, for all the New Orleans fans out there, I'm sorry. but I had told my homeboys, I was like, look, there's some things I want to do. I didn't really come on the trip to watch the game per se.
Right.
I wanted to get to know the city a little bit better. They was like, oh, well, you know, that's cool. So they did what they need to do, and I was over there enjoying the tour. I did a tour throughout New Orleans, and I was done like in 2 hours and came back, and we was ready to rock and roll and go watch the game. So I still managed to do what I need to do.
Right.
You know,
and the fact
and to get someone to come with me.
Right. But you didn't just disappear and be like, hey, or get one person out of the group and be like, hey man, we gonna go over here and such and such and such. Be like, if somebody wanted to go, whatever, all they had to do is say, yeah man, I'll do that too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think that was a very smart move, especially you on the trip in a town. You've been there before, but you still don't completely notice it. Take a tour. I mean, you got the time to make it to the game still. I think that was smart.
You know, that's what cell phones are for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I hit up a couple shops on Canal Street, whatever. I went down my list.
Right.
Because, I mean, ultimately, we came there together and we left together.
Right.
And what brought us together was the game, you know.
Right.
But I was like, you know, because they know my interest is always in other stuff.
Right.
Boom. They know I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I got my phone on hand and anything happens, you know, I hit you on the hip. But that's me being the man. You know how girls are.
Yeah.
You know,
why you gonna bring up the... Yeah. they gonna make someone. Oh, he knows somebody. They gonna or she could be like, she knows somebody down here. She, you know, if it was a female doing that, you know what I mean.
Well, that's understanding who you're hanging out with.
Right.
If you got a girl in your group that you know that's that likes to party with the guys and disappear with the guys or whatever, then it's not for you to be mad at her.
Right.
You have you know what she's about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Are you prepared to go that level with her? You know?
Right.
And some girls, you know, well, a lot of them be like, man, I can't believe she let me for this dude and such and such and such and such.
Oh, yeah. Instead of be like, yeah, okay, go girl or whatever, I got your back. Just call me if you need me. I'll be such and such somewhere or whatever, you know, hanging out with, you know, some of the tours on the parade or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right. And then it's vice versa, too. If you know that a girl's a little bit more as an introvert, then and you could be like an extreme person,
right?
Then you too should acknowledge that she's a little bit shy, and you shouldn't run off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might want to include her, but take baby steps with it. Don't just wild out where she's chaperoning you.
Right.
And being more level-headed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should help her, open her up to be a little bit more outgoing.
Right. Or just fearful or fearless of what, you know, she's gonna actually, what she may find out that she don't like or whatever, you know, like that. She might walk into another bar or something. She might walk into a bar every 3 minutes, and she going to the bar to try what's in this bar or whatever. And you know what I mean? It's just simple stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, they should use that kind of relationship to make whatever environment they get in to be comfortable because they know each other, they got each other's back,
Right.
and you know,
And that's what's most important too, man. Having each other's back.
yeah, but it's just about knowing yourself, man.
Right, and the people that you're hanging with. That make it a whole lot easier. So that's why I was telling them about those phone call ladies. If you're tuning in now, you're listening to Walnut Radio Live. Today we're talking about the sisterhood and women sticking together. I have here on the phone none other than the brother Cool J L Bay, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? But
it is peace.
So as we continue, I had a lot of points that I touched on. Was there anything that you came across that would help the even the teenagers, like before it gets too far out of hand, like put together you a team, you know what I mean, that y'all, whether it's from high school or whatever, you know what I mean, that you keep up with or whatever, and you build your sisterhood or whatever, and you make sure y'all stay connected, because sometimes if for women it may be a month or whatever, or 2 weeks or whatever, and they may be thinking, oh, she ain't called me, she acting funny, you know what I mean, but guys, so basically just kind of speak to that consistency of what it takes to actually get to that point in a relationship or whatever for women.
And the only advice that I can give is whenever you create a circle, just make sure that you find someone that shares the same interests as you.
Right.
Just having like minds.
Right.
Not saying that y'all totally equal or twins.
Right.
Yeah, I have a understanding that you guys can do great things together, and y'all can support each other on an individual level as well too.
Right.
I think kids have a better understanding than adults.
Right. Of that concept of team.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's no filter. Kids can be weird.
Right. Or misunderstood.
Yeah, they can be misunderstood, and yet there'll be someone in the group that will actually understand that.
Right. Google Gaga.
So
da baba. Like, oh, you understood that? I did not know what that baby just said. What did that baby say?
You know, with adults, we get kind of stuck in a one mindset kind of thing.
Yeah.
To where, you know, if that person is weird, they're gonna put that person in the weird box.
Right, and throw they blinders on to that person. You know what I mean? Like I don't even see them, or I'm not gonna even. But that's crazy, man. Because for me, them the people that were like, man, wonder what made them tick. You know what I mean? And what's their philosophy? Because I mean, you just don't know until you know. So I do want ladies to be more, I guess, curious, and not be scared to ask the question. The worst thing you can do is not ask. You know what I mean? Especially if you're thinking about it or whatever. You know, or thinking that it's too personal to ask or whatever, because they may be able to give you some insight. They say, you know, ask and you shall receive. You know, closed mouth don't get fed and all those other things. So to the women and, like, you know, ladies that are coming out of teenage or coming into a young adult, how would they like best handle somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to be not necessarily too aggressive or whatever with asking questions trying to get to know this person, but how should they approach that if they trying to pull this young lady into their sisterhood?
Oh man, that's a good question.
You know what I mean? Because the girl may need help, and they not, because we speaking also on to the ladies that are not even sure what a sisterhood is, and then you have a sisterhood that is trying to bring a young lady that's a little weird, they don't know or whatever, but they still want to try. What's the best way to kind of approach these young ladies that may be standoffish or whatever, but they know they need a group? You know what I mean? Don't have no friends or whatever.
And I think the secret ingredient to that is compassion. You know, but that's just me. You know, with my male point of view,
right?
If compassion is really the key to sisterhood and brotherhood,
right?
Even looking back at that movie Chi-Raq, where the sisters were coming together regardless of who boyfriend was in what set, what gang they was in.
Right.
You know, but they came together and said, you know, this is really out of compassion, because that sister then had to walk over to her enemy's territory.
Right.
But there was an understanding. She knew that with compassion that they can get this thing done. You know, that we need to get, you know, these men to stop killing each other.
Right.
The agreement was to stop having sex.
Oh man, hey, that's a huge point. Y'all give it up for brother Cool JL, baby, because if I can see it right now, the compassion that was in that movie, it unlocked a lot of stuff, but some women, their egos keep them from doing that. Like it almost happened in the movie also, but speak to that as you were kind of going into just now.
Oh yeah, the ego is a problem. What we're facing is self-destruction. We're competing over something that's pretty not attainable right now, and that's just on a whole another level. We're all fighting for the same thing. True. And really, what we're really fighting for doesn't really exist. We just kind of make it up in our mind, but what we really want, and it's not me, this is just an opinion.
Right.
You know,
this is just opinion talk, ladies.
So what we really want is understanding of each other, and we want to succeed, and not just individually, but as a group, as collectively. A whole. Like, everyone is doing good.
Right.
Now, in that movie, everyone was doing bad.
Yeah.
People was getting killed left and right.
Oh yeah, man. It was a lot of sad parts in there too. Yeah.
Right. And they had to have a conversation where it revealed the compassion to the sisters that, hey, I have an understanding what you get, because, you know, I guess the community was expecting some real hard gangster minister society stuff, but I'm glad he changed the tone of it, because the topic enough is already too serious. We are killing each other.
Right, and it's like a war zone in some parts or whatever. So
in some parts, right, man. Chicago is the Mecca. It was discovered by a brother, John Baptiste, you know. But anyway, the sisters showed compassion in the movie, and that's when they rallied together to have this, you know, no sex zone.
right. That'll mess some brothers up today. If sisters could do something like, that's why I used the movie as a reference in part one, So they could go back and and pay more close attention to how they came together with them, because they wasn't together in the beginning. Not all of them. You had certain cliques, just like you have now. How women split up, and they it'll be 3 or 4 of them, maybe 2 of them sometime, but they came together, and that's
Right,
what I
they
think
came
is
together.
real important right there.
That's what's important. Now, the serious topic is, how do we stop from feuding each other? Because we feuding with each other, because we know that not even just on the sisterhood level where women are not getting along with each other, men are not getting along with women.
Yes.
And women are not getting along with men.
Yeah, and like I said, I definitely think that's a big part of it. But like you were saying earlier, if we start taking care of each self first, that way you are confident to be in the group, that you have something to bring to the group because you know yourself, and that means your inner self, not just like who you are, what you like, this that, or what you eat, and what you wear, because what you really are is none of that. You know what I mean? None of that is really who you are inside. What is your a version of compassion look like? You know what I mean?
And glad that you said that, because in this book they have taken care of ourselves, and I'm just going to read maybe just a couple paragraphs, but it says,
Okay.
because many of us have never really learned how to take good care of ourselves, our relationships have been based on trying to get someone else to take care of us. As babies, we are very aware and intuitive. From the time we are born, we perceive our parents' emotional pain and neediness and immediately begin to develop the habit of trying to please them and fulfill their needs so that they will continue to take care of us.
Wow.
Later on, our relationships continue along the same lines. There is an unconscious telepathic agreement. I try to do what you want me to do and be the person you want me to be if you will be there for me, give me what I need, and not leave me.
Oh. Oh man, that was big right there. I mean, that is so many people's story, man. I'm telling you, like they latch on like with the death grip. You know what I mean, and bleed their parents dry. You know what I mean. But
and then we make up stuff. And I'm not just gonna blame them. Then we make up stuff based off of that idea of whatever I done for you,
lately,
you should do for me.
Right.
That comes the term loyalty, right? Then that loyalty, if you abuse it, it becomes controlling to a certain degree.
Right.
How can you take care of somebody and you don't know how to take care of yourself?
It's not possible.
No. How can you be part of a sisterhood if you are not capable to take care of yourself individually?
And now, no, what I was just going to add to that was, if you think about, like, back in the day where they had the hunters and the gatherers, most of the time the females could have been in either or. You know what I mean? Because they could hunt. You know what I mean? They could gather. But the thing about that time or whatever, everybody found what they were good at to contribute, because we was all we had. It wasn't no, everybody had to get up and do all the stuff that'll just keep a group living. So I think if they thought more in that mind frame, that listen, this is a community. The sisterhood is a community, just like your neighborhood or whatever. And and we basically gonna do our part. It's just your lane, and don't worry about what somebody else doing their lane. If they good at it, you need to. nobody could run a football team with just a quarterback. It wouldn't work.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, man, because you know, in this society today, I even asked the question like, what's going on with the sisterhood? And I say this jokingly, but women outnumber men by far,
Right.
all over the planet,
Right.
and women are fighting for men. Nature is telling you that there's going to be more women than men on the planet. It always has been, and it always will be.
Right.
Now, that being said, yet there is still no sisterhood. There's a so-called shortage of men, and you mean these women can't get together and figure out how to answer these problems?
Right.
I give you an example, and I could be wrong, but I was studying this book, reading this book called "The Shamanistic Way of the Bee."
Okay.
How there's only one queen bee.
There is only one queen.
Right, but she's surrounded by male drones. Now she creates the drones asexually. I think I could be wrong, but when she wants to create another queen bee, she used one of the top drones.
Wow.
One of the best drones to mate with to create another queen bee. Now, that society, and I think that kind of goes for ants too.
Right.
And all I'm talking about is nature. And this is where sisterhood is kind of missing out on this whole thing.
Oh, man. Speak to that. Speak to that, man.
What are you naturally here to do? What is your goal? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's throw away this patriarch BS where we think that there is, you know, I'll say this, man has been dominating this world for a couple thousand years, and you see where it's at now.
Right. You know? Right. And it's sad.
It's sad, man. It's sad. We're competitive. We call it the survival of the fittest, and it's just leaving some people who really needs that kind of sisterhood or brotherhood,
right,
left out. And we're not actually following the guidelines of nature. And I can't tell you what it is, but if these sisters can come to an agreement, figure out, and just maybe just study nature within themselves, then they can get back to that.
Right,
you know?
right.
I give you an example, man. You know, I got homegirls that I've known for years,
right,
that work with other females. And I would give you an example. They would talk about their menstrual cycles, and it, you know, sometimes they get a little too personal. I'm like, all right, and let me get off the phone. But why is it that her cycle could be on the 12th of every month? Then she started working with a group of women whose cycle could be the 18th or 19th of the month. But once they hang around each other for a long periods of time, they have their cycles almost at the same time.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
You dropping jewels, man. You dropping jewels.
Right. And then you have all these group of women. They say they work in one department where they cycle comes on almost maybe 2-3 days apart from each other.
Wow.
That's sisterhood by nature.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. The you don't see, when you see a pack of lions, it be female lions. You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
I'm saying.
Oh man, all right, we gonna end it right there, Cool J.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I really appreciate it, man.
No
But
problem,
ladies, please get back to nature, and as you can see, with different and take some from the birds and the bees and the lions. You know what I mean? Just get back
man.
to you and what your connection is to nature. A movie that I have or want to recommend to the ladies to go and check out, which will be a good like trip for you and the girls to go check out, which is Hidden Figures. Um, Janae Monet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, that's all they had to tell me. You know what I mean? And then they said cooking was gonna be in there. I said, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Taraji P. Henson. Yeah.
Right, and the other lady that is in there, she is in my family tree somewhere. She's a Owens.
Okay.
Olivia, is it Octavia Owens?
I think it's Octavia. Yeah, I seen her in the movie called The Help. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, man. So it's a blockbuster movie. But the thing about it is the way you see them bundling up because they wasn't supposed to be. So do you have a book that you could recommend to the ladies? What's the books that we use tonight for references that you could recommend as we wrap up the show, Cool J?
The book that I use tonight is called Living in the Light by Shakti Gawain.
All right, brother. Leave your contact info for anybody that may have some follow up questions or how to get in touch with you on social media. All right, Cool J.
Yeah, man. If anyone wants to hit me up or curse me out for the things that I said earlier.
I said something on part one that they go. Hey, I called them. What I said? I said something about creatures. I'm probably gonna get hit by that. I said I said they some feisty creatures. I'm just saying, man.
Hey, man, we all different,
right?
But yeah, they can hit me up at Adventurous Cool J on Facebook, or they can reach me on a Fellows Revenge at gmail.com. Revenge spelled as RVNG.
Okay.
And Othello, OTHELLO. Othello Revenge at gmail.com.
All right, brother, man. Want to thank y'all for tuning in to Walnut Radio Live on Wednesday. You know what day it is. We killed the fear on a lot of different levels tonight, and we hope y'all could use some of this information so you could become the best person you could be. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all have a good night, man. Stay tuned.
All right, peace.
Peace.
I think I'm perfect. It's just perfect. I'm perfect.